How's it going, everybody? Right here today, and we are back with your Calgary Flames here, ready to defend our back-to-back titles. And honestly, guys, I think this team, it's so much fun, this roster. I really enjoyed every time that we've played with it and every time we sim. Nothing's ever been straightforward. I don't think we've reached the highs during the regular season like we did with the Columbus Blue Jackets franchise mode, but I would say that, you know, this team is really, really good. I think on paper, this one might be deeper. This is probably a better squad on paper than that Columbus Blue Jacket squad. However, the defense is a little lacking. Brizgalov, I'm going to give him those second pairing minutes. He's got great puck skills for a two-way defender. He's incredible there. It's just his senses and, you know, his defense. He's fine. Three-star there is okay. At 21, 6'5", I think he's about as developed as well as I could have expected him to at this point. Still low elite, but we're hoping that a guy like Matt West or Francisco McCarron are the ones that do end up developing and growing. I mean, 75, 77, they didn't grow at all last year, between last year and this year. And honestly, guys, I am going to leave Lekaramaki. Speaking of the young guns, we got to transition, like I said, to that next generation. And he has, after this season, a pretty long contract extension coming up. If you guys remember, I just decided to go for it. I just went for it, and I said, we're going to sign Lekaramaki for 8 years. Lekaramaki, where are you? There you are. Yep, $5.5 million, and he's here for a very long time. So him and Mason Jackson are really here for a while. Is anybody else even here around then? Yeah, it's just Zykov, Lekaramaki, and Mason Jackson in 2033. That will be 10 full seasons in this one. So I don't think we're going to get to 10 full seasons. We pretty much hit what we wanted to do, but I do have an idea for a brand new franchise mode, guys. I'll drop that in the community tab, so make sure you're subscribed and check out the community tab. I'm going to post it here in a day or two because I got to really wrap up some loose ends with that. Maybe design too. I'll throw a picture in there, but it is an expansion franchise for you guys. So let me know your thoughts on that on the community post. But here we go. Let's jump into it. We don't really have much to think about. One thing I do want to see just popped into my mind as I'm talking here about wrapping up loose ends. How is our coaching staff? Is it signed? Is everybody signed, or is everybody expiring? Good. Buckley's got 3 years left. Furtok does have 1 year left, and Whitney has 2 years left. So really the only one that we're worried about potentially losing is Furtok here. B- assistant coach. It's a really Matthias Furtok is a really, really good coach, especially to be an assistant, not even your associate. So, oh god, they couldn't have picked more confusing names for those two roles, but we'll let it ride. And you know, he's going to be here for a while, but let's see if we can have a better regular season. Listen, we've been like a top 8 team every time, top 10 at least, top 10, top 5, somewhere in that range. Not in the top 3 though, where I want to be, especially back-to-back cups. Some of that may be my influence playing the games. Of course, I've heard some comments about that, but I'm going to continue doing that for this one. Upgraded the parking lot. There we go. $30,000 extra dollars. Trade offer Dahlman and McCarron for Zub, Labushkin, a 4th and a 5th. That feels like a lot of nothing coming from Ottawa here. How good is Zub? Yeah, it is a lot of nothing. That's what I thought. I'm not even going to check Ilya Labushkin. Actually, I am, just because I want to see how embarrassing. Oh, 81. You know, 81, 82, and a couple picks. For my medium elite goaltender and my young medium top 4 defender, I really don't think it makes any sense. Let's see. Scout salaries, keep that low. Scout travel, we want to keep that as low as possible. Coach budget, we'll bump that up just to make sure we have some there. And we got like $500,000, so I'm going to put that back into the arena budget to keep that as nice as possible. And same thing with advertising. 24,000. We'll, you know what? No, we're going to put that into the arena operations as well. So there we go. Save budget. Right. I've kind of enjoyed owner mode. I know some of you have mentioned in the comment section that you also have enjoyed, or just because of this series, you've started in owner mode, but let me know how you're doing, because it's something I never used to touch, but now that I've done this is actually pretty fun with the owner mode and whatnot. Some restrictions makes it a little bit more interesting, so maybe it's something we do more frequently next season as well. Obviously, we only really have one franchise mode, and maybe we'll mess around some in the summer here. JJ Paterka wants to complain about his ice time, which is fair. I'm going to try and persuade him. It is a convincing chance. JJ says he's a team player and he's going to play wherever I need him to, which is fantastic. I love that. He's on the third line right now. He's an 86. He might start to drop an overall, which does concern me a little bit. 4-2 loss there. And so far, the start of the season has not been good. Now, listen, it's 9 games. Lekaramaki leads the team in points, but clearly that's not enough. The top line is a +8. Lekaramaki, wow. Zykov with 20 penalty minutes in 9 games. Guys, that is that's what? About 2 penalty minutes per game. Did he get in a fight? Did he get in a fight? Because that would really bump it up. No. He's not gotten in a fight, so that's just 10 minor penalties in 9 games. That is absolutely wild. JJ Peterka's a -1. Let's take a look at just the forwards, though. What is not working? And you know what? Nothing's really not working. Thomas Bordeleau, he's fine. He's got a goal, so good for him. But as far as plus-minus on the blue line, Brizgalov's a -1. Power and Jackson, though, a +5 and a +6. Like to see that. Boqvist, +1, 5 points as well. And then in goal, Spencer Knight continues to be as mid as ever. So I think what I'm going to do is move Peterka up, and then maybe a guy like Mangiapane down to the third line. Flip-flop those two guys. Just get a little something different, you know. Actually, Mangiapane is on the third line. Maybe Huberdeau goes down here. Oh, gosh. Wow, that really does kind of affect everything, doesn't it? I don't want to move Lindholm down. He's too good. Lekaramaki is leading the team in points. Huberdeau, I mean, he is 35 years old. Exact top 6. How much longer is he going to continue to be really, really good? If we move Kuzmenko down at 32, is listed as a first-line forward. I don't want to do that because Huberdeau, listed as a second-line forward, shouldn't be as upset. Peterka, second-line forward, obviously was upset, but we are giving Huberdeau, I think, more ice time. The whole team has dropped a little bit in morale, so that clearly that Stanley Cup boost for the locker room chemistry, which is now at a 67. People aren't happy. I wonder why everyone's unhappy, but we're going to just keep it rolling here. Let's go. It's a good year for rookies. Well, that's good for the rookies because I'm not too worried about it. 3-0 win, a 7-3 win, a loss to Montreal, but we do beat Buffalo. Detroit, we beat them as well. Huberdeau now wants to complain about his ice time. I'm going to try and persuade Huberdeau. 50-50 chance here. He believes... I'm going to disagree. -5. Now get back to the dressing room. That's brutal, dude. He lost 1 morale, but hopefully he doesn't lose too much more morale. But really, guys, I just don't want to drop Lekaramaki. He's producing, and now with these couple changes, moving Peterka up, we're starting to win games. So I like the lines the way they are. Unfortunately, the chemistry, RFA, yep, the chemistry is not great. But there we are. We're now in a decent spot here, 25 points. We are 7 off the Oilers. Tage Thompson now leads the team in points. It's been a minute since Tage has been number 1 up there. Lekaramaki with 25 as well. So clearly he's good enough to be playing on that top line with Dmitry Zykov there as well as a point per game. Kuzmenko's a point per game. Lindholm's a point per game. Huberdeau and Peterka are basically the same. Mangiapane. Yeah, it's really interesting to see what I should do about this forward core. I mean, I don't want to trade guys like Lindholm and Kuzmenko because they are expiring, right? They're great for us right now, and they're basically the trade deadline acquisition that I would get. I guess I should prioritize Huberdeau's happiness, but hey, the team is winning. They'll be happy. As far as defensive pairings, Barron and Hanifin, not a great pairing. You can see that Brizgalov has bounced back. I think they were a -1, so they didn't really have to bounce back much. Boqvist, wow, has taken off, though. +10. He was about in the same boat as Brizgalov. Power and Jackson, still a good pairing, so I like to see that a lot. I'd like to see these guys grow a little bit more. And then in goal, Spencer Knight, wow, really, really good bounce back for him. Now, he hadn't played too many games at the start of the season, right, so we couldn't really dive too much into the numbers. But if he's putting up those numbers, I'm going to be very, very happy. And I think, guys, we can continue to roll through December here. Not too much to talk about, to delineate on. The team is really a solid team. It's just about that line changes where we want to put everybody. But wow, we do beat Vancouver there. That is nice. They're ahead of us, but we lose then back-to-back. I'm going to persuade Huberdeau again. He's not performing to the best of his abilities. Maybe, oh God, he's just, his morale is getting just brutalized right now. It might be time to, yikes, guys, we are struggling. So I think we need to go back to what we know works. We are only, I mean, listen, we're in second last place in the division. we're only 4 points off of second place. The Oilers are running away with it, but we're level on games with the Canucks. We are 3 games in hand on the Kings, so I think there is still time to turn this thing around. But man, after back-to-back Stanley Cup victories, things are not going well. Lekaramaki will flip you there. We'll put that there, and then Lekaramaki will go there. So, listen, he's doing great. He is going to get that boost. Peterka, 86, he's an even, right? We know Peterka's not the greatest looking player when it comes to the sim, but Thomas Bordeleau is. Look at that. Defensively, how are we looking here? These guys are all pluses except for this bottom pairing, which ironically the bottom pairing is a plus. Jacob Peltier is scratched. I'd like to actually Ruzicka's got 15 penalty minutes playing down here. I'm going to scratch Ruzicka, and we're going to put in Peltier. There we go. And I want to just reset that, so just in case we get a chemistry thing, we don't. But Mangiapane, how many years does he have left? Just 1 year? I don't think I extended him either, so he's another one that we could potentially move on from, but I don't really want to trade him and piss off the locker room. Maybe just not retaining him will be the move we make. But you can see here, expiring. Yeah, it is Mangiapane. There he is. So Elias Lindholm, I'd love to bring him back for $9.5 million, though. You know what? Honestly, 1 year at $7.5 million just to run it back. Has he really dropped off that much? A little bit, but not much, right? He's still fantastic. Do we really have a second line center to replace him? Not really. I mean, Kuzmenko's already probably on the way out. At 32, he's asking for $9 million. Lindholm here, we do have 19 million. We could bring him back for 1 more year. I think I might bring him back for 1 more year at $7.5 million. You guys let me know if I should be bringing back Kuzmenko see if I can get him for a similar dollar figure. But it's just like there's a lot of congestion up there at the top of that lineup. Yeah, and Kuzmenko's going to want in the 9 millions. Maybe we move him on from him at the deadline. It would upset a lot of players. But he's now getting back to the top line. We'll see if that fixes our issue here. I really wish we would have had a better start to the season. Because even 30... I mean, look, at 30 points is tied for second in the Central. That is absurd. Looking here, 30 points would be a wild card spot. That's a divisional spot there. Yeah, so 30 points. I mean, this is an incredibly tight division that we're in here. All of the West is really in this low 30s to high 20s range. Look at that. Avalanche, Wild, Predators. I'd throw the Blackhawks in there. And then our entire freaking division besides the Oilers. That is wild, guys. That is absolutely crazy that there's that many teams around the same number. But we'll go ahead and go 2-ish weeks here. 3 weeks. We got a lot of time off there. We'll see how things go. Wow, Siegenthaler. I don't think Siegenthaler's worth that trade package, right? A second and West. How good is Siegenthaler? Siegenthaler is an 85 at 31. Defensive defenseman would fit all of our pairings and on a really modest contract. They're also throwing in a third from next year. We'd have to give up a third this year and West and a second. No. By the way, I almost clicked accept by accident there. Elias Lindholm is going to accept that 1 year, $7.5 million deal, so he is going to stick around, which we love to see. We do love to see back-to-back wins after all those losses. We do drop games back-to-back there, but a couple wins again against LA. We do shut them out, and we beat the New Jersey Devils, sitting at 42 points on 36 games. We're on the outside looking in. We really are on the outside looking in, and I wonder, oh God, Tage Thompson is continuing to tear it up on that. That top line is finally producing the way I would have hoped. Lekaramaki now, he is a shooter too. He's just not his shooting percentage should be higher. I mean, I guess I can't really complain about 13%, 18.8%, and 18% here. 17.8 is ridiculous. 17 for Kuzmenko, but those guys are all back together. Lekaramaki, Peterka, Lindholm, all those guys doing well. Huberdeau, Mangiapane, Owen Power with a plus 21. Connor Zary is a -7. Connor Zary is a -7. Oh gosh, what do I do about that line? Peltier, 4 points plus 2. Connor Zary seems to be the weakest link on that third line. The question is, do I really have anybody I can shuffle? Right? I know I didn't check out the defense. We'll take the look at them in a second. But Bordeleau's up to an 81. Do I move him up? Do I move Jacob Peltier up and then hope that somebody else can take face-offs here? I mean, we don't get any chemistry boost. Bordeleau has played well in his limited amount of time. I think he's very similar to... I mean, oh god, there's Jamson here too. If I move Jamson up, Manji, who can take faceoffs? Can anybody take faceoffs? Paterka can somewhat take faceoffs. So Jamson, though, listen, he's an 82 playmaker, but he's got a really good defensive category, and I think that's what that third line needs. Brizgalov's a +9, getting 18 and a half minutes a night. I'll take that from this guy. Now, he only has 1 point, which is a bit concerning. But other than that, the third pairings looked a little bit better. Power and Jackson both look great up here. Neither of those guys hitting that real elite status, but we're getting the +4 here. Huberdeau, Paterka. What if, no, that wouldn't work. I don't want to move Lindholm down at all, but man, really interesting to see what we're going to do. I think we're going to leave Lekaramaki on the second line. I think the top 6 is working the way it's intended to now. We are, 1 point out of the playoffs with 2 games in hand on both the Ducks and the Golden Knights. 5 points behind the Sharks with 4 games in hand. 5 points behind the Canucks with a game in hand. So there is a lot that still can be done here, guys. I think I'm going to go through the month of January. And then do we do the trade deadline? I might stop here at the beginning of February, and you guys let me know your thoughts about the trade deadline. I think that's what we're going to do, and then we'll close out the season and get into the first couple rounds of the playoffs, see how far we go. If we don't go very far, then oh well, but I might split the playoffs up into a couple episodes, which is a bit weird, but hey, we'll try it. We'll go up to February 1st, though. Hopefully that line change on the third line did wonders for us. 2-1 since that happened. Big long win streak, though, was nice to see. Again, I don't want that trade. We did beat the Oilers in our first regular season meeting, so there's a shootout win. There's 3 straight points in shootouts. I guess I should say a 4th point there against the Oilers and the pat on the back from the owner. But we're finally getting those loser points that we need to. We're becoming the New York Islanders of this save. Not quite. Only 4 overtime losses, not 26 or whatever the Islanders have IRL. But there we go. We've moved into a playoff spot. We're chasing down the Canucks, 6 points behind them with a game in hand. So if we win that game in hand, we're 4 points back. I don't think we're going to win the Pacific, but 60 points would be good enough for second in the Metro. And in the Central would be good enough for the first spot there. We're okay. We're a really good team. It's just that this division has become a nightmare to be a part of. So let's take a look at the team stats. The first thing I'm going to do is go to entire league and go to points percentage. And where are we? So there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're tied for 8th with the New York Rangers. Hopefully they don't do any funny business. I was going to say they're doing funny business. No. They're not doing funny business like they were last year. During the Stanley Cup Finals, that was hilarious. I was really confused. But okay, 4th best offense, defense, 5th best defense in the league. I guess that's just the way it goes sometimes. I mean, the players are performing. The power play percentage at 23.7 is 4th best. The penalty kill percentage at 81, well, not great, isn't the worst. It's certainly not the worst thing in the world, right? I mean, it's the bottom half of the league. Okay, we're probably in the bottom 12. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, 13th worst in the league, which I'm not going to try and do that math off in the top of my head, but yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I'll take anything above 80%, 81% is fine. Again, I'd like to be in this 83% land, right? 82.6, right where the Edmonton Oilers are. But oh my God, their power play, sort of like real life. By the way, Lucas Dostal has won the William M. Jennings twice in a row now. So goals against has been their forte, the Edmonton Oilers. Who would have thought? We're right there with them, though. We've played 1 more game, so maybe they'll get shelled for 4. I mean, they are kind of crazy right now. So are the Chicago Blackhawks, but they're doing well. But let's take a look at the points. Tage Thompson with 65 and 49 is fantastic. Lekaramaki has not slowed down, actually, his shooting percentage has gone up by quite a bit. So maybe being the main man on that second line, the goal scorer for that second line, Kuzmenko back up on the top line. And guys, we have 5 players at a point per game, and then Huberdeau's here at 45 and 49. I mean, he could easily pick it up too, considering that we dropped into the third line for a little bit of the season. Oh, by the way, our third line with Paterka and Mangiapane, they have 30 points. We moved Jamson up. He's even, so they've not done tremendously well, but I believe he was a +2 or a +3. He's playing 8 minutes a night now, 12 points. He's fine. So is Bordelot and Peltier. So Connor Zary here, not looking great. We do have him signed for another year at 4.75. Could be a guy we look to move on from and then just slot Ruzicka into that fourth line, that third line as a power forward. I don't really want to move on from Connor Zary. He was one of our OGs, but, you know, sometimes that's what you got to do. But as far as defenders and points, Mason Jackson and Owen Power continue to be a great pairing. Plus 20 and plus 17, so not lighting the world on fire. 20 points and 15 points, but certainly not going to hold us back. Boakvist doing well there, so I'm just checking if either of those guys grew. Barron's doing fine. Brizgalov's doing great with his plus minus. We saw him last year was a minus. We did end up having to not play him at one point, but this year he is doing much better, so it's really, really good to see that step forward, that progression from the 22-year-old. Noah Hannafin here at the bottom. I guess, I mean, I can't really complain. He's playing third line ice time. At one point, he did have an X factor, I believe, to help us out. Quickly turned into a third pairing defenseman, and he is making $4.5 million for another year, and I think he's fine at 84. I'm actually really happy with Noah Hannafin. And then in goal, Spencer Knight is playing well. I can't really complain. Him and Vladar have been our goaltending tandem for a while now, and we kind of know what to expect from these guys. Neither of them are going to be battling for the Vezina. Neither of them are going to be helping us put up the best defensive record in the league, but they're certainly a big part of the team, especially when we get into the postseason, right? The playoffs is where those two guys, well, mostly Spencer Knight, really does prove his worth. Never tremendous, but again, they're great goalies, not amazing goalies. I guess good goalies, not great. Take your pick. But that is it for this one, guys. We are on February 1st. Honestly, I really think probably a defender, and then we could scratch Barron. We could always move on from a guy like Hannafin, who is aging a bit, but I mean, a veteran like that on the blue line at 32 is very, very valuable. Barron here at 27, he is an expiring contract, 1 year, $1 million, so he's easily going to be a valued member. We got Chris Tierney here too, who's decent. We could always play him. I'm going back to the fourth line center thing. How is Peterka's faceoff percentage, by the way? Does it even matter? It is 42.18. That is bad. So maybe we need a third line center to replace. Yeah, we might want to go after a third line center. We could move Mangiapane down, keep Peterka, the new center, in Jamson. I think what we need is somebody who's going to win faceoffs. Like, think a Boone Jenner type. And then maybe we need again, a defender, but we have 80, 84, 85, 86, 87. We just, we'll see who's out there, right? If there's some stud out there and we give up a couple pieces to go get him, sure. But honestly, guys, I'm happy we're with where the team is at. Not too worried about, you know, the playoff situation. We got 3 games in hand on the Golden Knights. We win 2 out of those 3, and all of a sudden we're in a playoff spot ahead of them. So I'm fine with that. The Canucks, we could chase them down as well. We're starting to put a little bit of distance between us and the Ducks, who are the first team out, right? The Central doesn't look like they're going to have any chance at a wild card. Heck, their leader would be tied with us and in wild card too, yet it's Blackhawks at the top there. They do have 47 plays, so they got a couple games in hand. But, you know, the Wild and the Coyotes taking divisional spots. Predators, Jets at 46. That would be the bottom of our division. So it is kind of showing that the Pacific is the strongest division yet again, with the Canucks, the Oilers, the Golden Knights are back, and then us. I'm not too worried about the playoffs. The fans are super happy with 100 fan happiness. The locker room is happy with 74 chemistry, and then the owner is happy with our progress on the goals. So very, very happy myself with all the performances. Like to see a little bit better from some of our defenders. Spencer Knight, I'm done complaining about, but I think a third line center and maybe just a middle defense, another 84, 85 defenseman could be something we go after. But that's for you guys to decide down in the comments section. So make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this one. Subscribe if you want to see some more, and I will see you guys in the next one.
This a free for all, before we fall. This a free for all.